Hey guys, I want to give a in-service on the Vocera badge. If you have not had a personal in-service with me, if you would still like an in-person one, feel free to get with me or somebody that's already been using them and signed off that's competent. But I want to give you some additional information. I did send out the PowerPoint, and there is information in Teams if you need to refer to it, and on the intranet. You could just search the Vocera. So this is called a Smart Badge. VCU purchased these mainly due to the increase in risk of violence against healthcare workers. It has a panic button feature, which we will discuss, and that was the main reason for going ahead and rolling them out. But it's called a Smart Badge. When it talks to you, the voice that you hear is called the Genie. We use the clip to hold ours on. They sell other things like lanyards and full clips, but we're just using the clip that's called the grip. You shouldn't have to remove this, but if you do, to put it back on, the little teeth here on the grip line up with the holes in the back, and then you just push forward, pops into place. If it happens to break, I do have some extras in my office. The other parts of the badge, on the side, you will see the little speaker holes, speaker and microphone holes, and the red panic button right here. On the back of the badge, you have your battery. That's the latch to open, and you can insert your finger or something, just nothing sharp, no scissors or anything, and that indentation to pop your battery out. We do have labels on them for how you should log in. This one is CMH RAD 3, and we will practice logging in just a second. Then on the other side, you have volume up and down. On the very top, there is a button right here. That's the Do Not Disturb button, which we will discuss a little bit later. So those are the parts of the Smart Badge. Smart Badge should be worn at your collar, so it's hanging about the 6 inches from your mouth. They say do the little hang 10 sign and where that your pinky lands is about where the little speaker and the microphone buttons need to be. If you try to hold it and talk to it like this, a lot of times it does not understand you. You need to just let it hang. And when you try to log in, you may experience that if you're trying to hold it and look at it to log in. Let it hang where it's supposed to be to speak to it. So at the beginning of your shift, you can get your fresh badge. The basket of them is sitting in the PAX core beside a tray of batteries where the batteries are charged. Get you a fresh battery. Battery should last about 12 to 14 hours. So to insert a battery, of course, you would locate the teeth on your battery, line that up so that they make connection with the battery compartment teeth, and just push them in, lock in place. It will take a few seconds for your badge to boot up and get ready for you to log in. I've actually already logged into this one, and I'm logged in as CMH RAD 3. And I'm going to put it to the side, and we're going to log in with the new one. I do want 2 logged in, so when I show you the broadcast feature, you can see how that works. So this one's name is CMH RAD 5. You never want to log in as yourself at this point. Just log in with what it's named. And cleaning the badge at the end of your shift, because you have been touching it, you should clean it. Clean it with purple top wipes with the battery still in place, because you don't want the liquid to get on the battery teeth down there.
Please touch the call button to log in.
So this button on your front is your call button. We heard the Genie speak and said touch call button to log in, which I'll do in a moment. Like I said, it is called the Genie. You can wake up your Vocera or make it be quiet by pressing that call button right on the front. You can also use it, it's kind of like Siri or Alexa, so you have to get its attention before you give it a command. And so you can do that by saying, okay, Vocera. I'm going to log in first.
Good morning. Please say or spell your first and last name.
CMH RAD 5.
I think you said...
CMH RAD 5.
Is this correct?
Yes.
CMH RAD 5.
I'm logging you in as...
CMH RAD 5.
So I'm logged in now, and you will hear my voice because I did set up the names on all of them, so you won't hear your voice being repeated back to you. You don't need to talk slow or change the way you pronounce things. Just hang it where it's supposed to be to log in, and just speak in your normal tone and normal speed. So I'm logged into this badge. So unless I press the call button or I wake it up by giving it the command we'll do in a second, it really shouldn't do anything. It does hang, just hang there. It needs to hang at your collar level. But I'm going to explain first the panic button feature, because if you're working third shift, you should be wearing one of these so that you have the panic button. Like I said, the panic button is red. So panic button is only if you feel you are in potential physical danger. It is not for calling a code. It's not for anything going wrong with your patient. It's you possibly having violence against you. So if I were to inconspicuously press my red panic button, nothing would happen with my badge. It would stay dark. I would know that I opened a panic call because I would likely feel it vibrate against me about every 5 seconds. That's just an alert to let you know that call is still open. What will happen on the receiving end, the switchboard, the admin rep, and security, and if any other radiology people are working or in a badge, they will hear the panic call alarm on their button, and they can see if it's like, say you're in CT, they will see that it's in CT. It's going to show them the location of where you were when you press the button. So what happens, yours stays black, but the speaker's open, and the microphone opens. So anything that's being said, the people that have received your call, they're going to be able to hear. So if you have a patient that's cursing and just going nuts, they're going to be able to hear that on the other side. But if you physically have to leave the area that you were when you pressed the button because of you're in danger, if you would just verbalize that, they know where you have moved. If you need to say, I'm headed towards the ER, I'm going to the elevators. If you move from the location, they would be coming to you for help. If I open a panic call, I'm also the one that has to close a panic call. So say I opened it, I got help, it's 10 minutes later and everything's calmed down. If it's still buzzing against me, that call is still open. So my microphone is still open and they're still hearing everything that's said. So you wouldn't want to sit down and kind of decompress from that call and be telling somebody about the event and it's still broadcasting to everybody. So just hit that button on the front to close that call and it should stop vibrating to let you know that call is ended. So when you're working alone, that's pretty much the only use for this. There are other features that we will roll out later where you could call people. I accidentally called the admin rep the other day because I said something that sounded like call admin 1. So there is a functionality where we can make calls and you can call each other through this. We're just not ready to roll that piece out yet. We're just stepping into it with the panic function. The benefit, though, to having these, if you wear these on second shift and weekends when you have small groups, you can talk to each other. That's called broadcasting to your group. Other people won't hear when you broadcast, like the admin rep and the security that could hear your panic call. They won't hear when you broadcast to radiology. But you do need more than one person logged in. If I try to hit my button and tell it to broadcast to radiology, but nobody else is logged into one of the 6 radiology badges, it'll tell me no one is listening. But if you do broadcast, you need to keep that message short, professional, and concise because you don't know where the other people are that the message is going out to. Somebody could be in the lunchroom and, somebody from leadership or Mr. Burnett be sitting behind them in line. And if you're just goofing around or saying something silly, joking, that's going to come across on the badge and it's not going to be professional. And if somebody's with a patient, that would kind of be not professional as well. Also, you want to make sure you never give patient information over the badge because that would be a HIPAA violation. So it is simple, like if you need to tell people you are, I'm headed to the OR, or the OR is called, who's available to go, or is anybody available for moving help in CT, things like that, or trying to locate the transporter. It just keeps you from having to find a telephone and run somebody down by using the telephone. So you do need to have 2 people at least logged in. If I initiate a broadcast call until it broadcasts, on the opposite end, if 2 other people are logged in, they both can hear unless they've hit their do not disturb button and they've selected the amount of time they want to be in do not disturb mode for, because maybe they're doing something, maybe they're going to the cafeteria or they're going to be with a patient that is difficult and they don't want to be interrupted during. So that's what the do not disturb button is on top. You can select 5 minutes, 10 minutes till I turn you back on. And then if you are hearing a broadcast and you're not available to help and you don't want that noise while you're trying to take care of your patient, you can hit the front button, and that's called tapping out. So it's like you're opting out of listening to that group message. So I will go ahead and try to wake up my Vocera and try to do a broadcast. I'm very close to my other badge that I'm going to be broadcasting to, so there may be some feedback if you're too close together. So what will happen, I will broadcast, I will say my message. My speaker is open and microphone are open, so anybody wearing the other badges will hear what I'm saying. But for you to talk back to me, it's almost like a walkie-talkie. So if I'm going to ask for moving help and you want to respond, you need to press your badge, your front button on your call button on your badge, give it a second to turn on your microphone, and then reply back to me. So I could wake up my Vocera by either pressing the button on the front or saying, "Okay, Vocera."
Vocera.
Hold on, technical malfunction.
Vocera.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
I woke up the wrong Vocera. I'm too close. Let me try to move one a little bit further from me. All right, so let's try this again. I want the one to, I don't want both of them to listen to me trying to take a command.
Vocera.
Broadcast to radiology.
Radiology.
Is anybody available for move-in help in CT? So it's a little bit hard to understand because the other Vocera is right here in the room with me. But if you were wearing the other one and you wanted to respond, you would press the call button. I just ended the call by pressing that. But if you were on the receiving end and you were hearing me ask for help, you could press your call button and say, I'm not available, or I can be there in just a minute. And then when I'm done with the call, I press that button on the front to end it. So I would encourage you in your small groups to practice with the broadcast function. Just remember, if you're the one that presses the button to open the call, they can hear everything you say and continue to say unless they tap out on theirs. And they can't speak back to you unless they press their button, give it a second to open the microphone, and then reply. And then it's like a walkie-talkie function. If somebody is on Do Not Disturb, there is a function with this. You could tell it to urgent broadcast, and that means it'll work just like I just did, except for it will also go to any radiology phone, any radiology Voceras that happen to have been on Do Not Disturb for some reason. So it's like a breakthrough because it's pretty urgent, and you don't care if they're away getting lunch. You still need to locate them and need them to try to come back to assist you. Just remember, no patient information, and keep it professional and keep it concise. You don't want to have long, drawn-out conversations through these because people are working with patients and doing other things while they're wearing these badges. So that's the broadcast function, urgent broadcast, and the panic button. At the end of your shift, make sure you clean it with purple top wipe with the battery in place. Now, once you have done that, you can take the battery off because the battery will go ahead and drain, and then it'll start giving a low battery message sitting in the basket. And you do want to log off at the end of your shift. If you don't, and somebody tries to broadcast later, it'll be broadcasting to badges that are logged in, just sitting in the basket, and nobody's there to really hear those, so we don't want that to happen. So there are a couple different ways you could log off. I could give my Vocera command to do that, which we'll do in a second. And then there are a lot of pull-down badge menus on your badge. You're just going to have to play with them. But usually if you pull down over here at the time,
I didn't understand.
not that one, it's trying to get me to give it a command. I pull down over here,
understand.
and you can see there's a log out function right there. I just touch it, and it wants to know if I want to log out, and I'm telling it to log me out. And so it just says, please touch the call button to log in again. So now it's ready for somebody else to log in again as CMH5. I'm going to grab the other Vocera to show you the other way to get log off by doing a command. All right, they do have hands-free functionality, so I could just wake up my Vocera by saying, okay, Vocera,
Vocera,
log me out.
I'm logging you out.
And that was the same thing as pulling down the menu badge, the menu on the badge to tell it to log out. So I'm logged out on both of them. At the end of your shift, log out, clean it off, take out the battery, put it in the charger, and leave it in the basket. And that is the Vocera Smartbadge with the genie that talks to you. So please make sure you're using these on third shift so you have the panic button functionality and for staff duress. Some help can get to you quickly. And on nights and weekends, I want you to wear them so you have the panic button functionality, especially when you're in an area alone. And it's also a communication tool, so when you have that small group of people, you can communicate with your team easily and keep up with everybody and try to get quicker help. I don't really foresee us wearing them on first shift, but there may be times when it's appropriate. Maybe it's a busy nuclear day, and Tammy or Lisa are in nuclear, and you want me and Nikki to wear a badge. You wear a badge, and me and Nikki wear a badge. So if you need sticking help, we can quickly communicate by the group. Is anybody available to go stick in the stress room, or just being in nuclear, or maybe back in MRI? Of course, you can't wear it in the magnet room. maybe just for your safety, you would like that panic button feature, especially if you're working in that area alone. Feel free to pick up one, even if nobody else in radiology is wearing one. Security, admin rep, and the switchboard should always be able to wear one, or should always have access to one, listening for that panic feature. And just any other time you feel like it's good for you have a small group that needs to communicate together. Like I said, just keep it short, concise, and professional, because you never know who's around listening on the other end. So after you have watched this video, you can practice with the Voceras, and also make sure you sign off on the in-service sheet. And there is tip information on the team's website, and like I said, SharePoint if you want to learn more. And hopefully in the future we'll have more functionality coming out where we have everybody's name set up in these, so you could log in as yourself, and that way you could call directly to somebody that you were working with if they're logged in. So more to come. Thank you.